Welcome to the PAC Foster family. In becoming a foster caregiver, you are joining a revolution in animal welfare history that is forever changing the landscape of animal sheltering. As a foster caregiver, your work is invaluable in saving lives. Many animals suffer behaviorally, mentally, emotionally, physically in a shelter setting, and a foster home changes the game for them. PAC sees roughly 17,000 to 19,000 animals a year, and in 2018, 5,000 of those animals received foster care. Foster is the future, and our hope is that someday no animal will ever have to see the inside of a kennel. So thank you for being a part of that future. A foster caregiver's role is to love, care for, learn about, and help market foster pets to adopters. This recipe is one that has saved countless lives and will continue to do so as fostering works its way to the heart of animal sheltering. Pima Animal Care Center is grateful to Maddie's Fund for a 2017 grant that has enabled us to grow the nation's largest foster program with 4 full-time foster coordinators. Thanks to Maddie, you are now a pioneer in animal welfare history. We have a very low barrier and straightforward foster onboarding process at PAC. If you are 18 years or older, have a valid ID, and can commit to quality care in a loving home, you qualify to foster for us. The steps to join are simple. 1. Fill out the online foster application. 2. Complete this adult dog foster orientation, online or in person within 30 days of bringing home a foster dog. 3. View the dog foster plea board. Here you will find various types of listed PAC dogs in need of foster care. These are not all dogs eligible for foster, but they are priority. 4. Email pac.foster@pima.gov with your availability to come meet or pick up a foster dog, which dogs from the board you are interested in meeting, what you are looking for temperament-wise in a foster, how long you are looking to foster for, any length of time is allowed, if there are other pets or kids in the home, and any basic supplies you will need to get started. We can usually provide basics like food and leash, but we do receive supplies via donation, so there are no guarantees. Once we receive your email, we'll get you set up with an appointment as soon as possible. Alternatively, you could ignore all of these suggestions and just walk in during our open hours of operation, but wait times will vary wildly depending on how busy we are and existing appointments. We have multiple foster programs, which we'll cover in this next slide. First, Foster to Adopt. Foster to Adopt is often confused with our traditional foster program. If you are looking for a trial adoption through foster, the only animals currently eligible for this program either have short-term medical needs being addressed by our clinic or are unaltered and need to have their spay-neuter surgery scheduled. Foster to Adopt animals are processed by adoption counselors at the front counter. If you are looking to foster to adopt, you do not need to complete this orientation, though you are certainly welcome to. The second is Medical Foster. Our Medical Foster program is a pretty hefty umbrella manned by 2 foster coordinators. Together they work to ensure urgent underage animals like puppies and kittens find foster placement, as well as critically injured or ill dogs and cats. Medical makes up the largest portion of our foster program, with thousands finding placement every year. The third is Adult Cat Foster. Cats are often overlooked in a shelter setting, and they need placement as badly as any other animal. With adult cat fostering, types range from socialization to minor medical. We are still learning so much about the benefits of foster for cats. And lastly, Adult Dog Foster. That's us. Any time away from the shelter is beneficial for a shelter dog, and so we allow fostering for any length of time, even just for a few hours with our day trip program. I'm Rachel, the Adult Dog Foster Coordinator for PAC, and my foster journey started in February 2017 when I met Louie. He was my first foster and the very ding-dong who would change the course of my life. He was a senior dog reactive pit mix who'd been living at Ventura County Animal Services for a year and a half. When Sarah saddled me with this depressed, unengaging old man of a dog, I had initially just planned to give him a nice place to sleep for a few days and then bring home another dog. Louie had other plans. He slept off a year and a half of shelter stress in 24 hours and woke up a ray of sunshine. Living in a kennel had stolen his light. Of course, no one was interested in adopting the dog he presented as at the shelter. He didn't even look at me our first day together. How was he supposed to find an adopter? Well, he milked it in foster care. He showed us he had a smile that could melt the coldest of hearts, and there was no dog on planet Earth more people-oriented. He would wait for us to lay down in bed at night and then jump up and position himself as the little spoon. He never complained. He was completely potty trained and knew all sorts of tricks. My roller derby league fell in love with him, and he quickly became our team mascot, attending practices and games and befriending every league mate. All the while I was falling in love with him, and he was so easy to love, I was also posting pictures and updates on Facebook for all my friends and friends of friends to see, and he was adopted 18 days later. 18 days. He was in the shelter a year and a half. A home to relax in and someone to show the world who he actually was all he needed to find a home. I got to see him on his 1-year adoptiversary, and he is so loved. He's on a special diet now because being an extra good boy away from the shelter earned him many treats that turned him quickly into a full-bodied love bug. He sleeps with his teenage boy at night. He greeted me with a smile like he always did. I get so ridiculous and emotional every time I talk about him, but there's really no overselling how much foster care changed both of our lives. And now it's time to move on because I'm getting mushy and gross. But the dogs we are most urgently seeking foster placement for are large adult dogs. Big dogs don't have the easy, low-maintenance appeal of little dogs and often stay many times longer than the average Chihuahua entering our facility. 2, pit mixes. I could talk about this one all day. The stigma against this breed keeps them here far beyond an average length of stay for one reason or another. Whether it's personal bias or a breed ban in your apartment complex, pits need a champion more than any other. Thirdly, long stay dogs. Almost all physically healthy dogs we send to foster have been at pack over 30 days. 4th, dogs in behavioral decline. Shelter life takes a massive toll on a dog's well-being, and many will start to display behaviors that reflect this over time if they don't get out. The best thing to do in these circumstances is to get them out. And 5th, under-socialized and fearful dogs. We meet many very scared dogs at pack who either have never known true human kindness or who have little ability to acclimate to the shelter setting. These dogs greatly benefit from patient handling in a calm home environment.